It just might be the world's strangest, spookiest musical instrument. You can see it. You can hear it. But you can't touch a theremin.
It's like you're finger painting in space. Playing theremin is like having sex with ghosts.
Professional thereminist Rob Schwimmer is a member of the New York Theremin Society, which plays regularly in New York City.
It's a very hard instrument. There's nothing there to help you. You have no reference. Every other instrument, you have something. So if you're standing in front of the theremin and your body's a little bit this way or a little bit that way, or if you've put on, an 1/8 of a pound, your field will be different. So imagine waking up every morning if you're a violinist and having the neck be that much shorter or that much longer.
The theremin is named for its inventor, Leon Theremin.
Whoever would have thought that you could create an instrument that you don't actually touch?
Music professor and biographer Albert Glinsky says theremin's story is as mysterious as the instrument that bears his name.
Leon Theremin was a Russian scientist. He was a spy and inventor of what is probably the most unusual musical instrument ever invented, I think. You're actually moving your two hands through two electromagnetic fields that are around two antennas.
In 1919, 23-year-old Leon Theremin invented his namesake by accident.
He was working in a laboratory in Russia as a young scientist, and he was actually working on a gas meter to measure the density of gases. So as he brought his hand closer to the gas meter, he heard kind of a higher squeal, and as he brought his hand back to his body and away from the machine, it was a lower squeal. And he started to play melodies on this thing, and lab assistants and his boss in the lab started to gather around and said, well, this is amazing.
Theremin then devised a freestanding musical instrument based on his discovery, which he sensationally debuted in the United States in 1928.
He performed in major venues like Carnegie Hall and the Metropolitan Opera House. Critics really almost didn't know what to make of it. There was one who said that if Theremin had lived 500 years ago or something, he would have been burned at the stake as a sorcerer.
Critics also didn't know that Theremin was a KGB spy. His mission? Industrial espionage, which was a key reason why he turned to RCA, back then a cutting-edge American electronics manufacturer, to mass produce his instrument. But playing the theremin turned out to be quite a challenge. It remained a musical oddity. Hollywood to the rescue. Turns out that theremin's eerie, ethereal sounds were perfect for horror and suspense movies, from the low budget to the films of Alfred Hitchcock. On to the 60s, when bands like Captain Beefheart made the theremin cool. Instrumental in this theremin renaissance, a young engineer named Robert Moog. He got his start selling do-it-yourself theremin kits from the basement of his Queens, New York home, and then went on to make some music history of his own as the man behind the Moog synthesizer.
What do you think Robert Moog found so fascinating about the theremin?
Stephen Dunnington is an engineer at Moog Music in Asheville, North Carolina.
It can sound vocal, it can sound like a cello, it can sound like a violin in the right hands. So, the musical side of Bob, he was captivated by this expressiveness, and the technical side of Bob was captivated by the circuit. It's a really kind of cool design. And then finally, there's the story behind it, which is the mystery of Leon Theremin, right?
Though Moog passed away in 2005, you can hear the theremin's influence in every synthesizer sold. In fact, Moog's company still makes theremins. They're its single best-selling instrument.
Do you sell thousands and thousands of theremins?
Over the years, we have sold thousands and thousands of theremins, yes.
Do you think thousands and thousands of people can play the theremin well?
I know for a fact that thousands and thousands of people cannot play the theremin well. Although we're approaching hundreds and hundreds of people, which is awesome.
And what became of Leon Theremin? One day, he vanished, returned to his homeland, leaving his instrument and a young American wife behind. Years later, after the fall of the Iron Curtain, he and Robert Moog would meet face to face before Theremin's death in 1993.